Hello and welcome to the Lich's Dregs, the second session. Over here are the remnants of the orcish hordes supporting the Lich. After his fall, a generation has passed. We watch the survivors traveling into a forest, scouting outside of their orc home. Amongst a cluster of trees lies an young orc face down in the leaves.
Lying on the ground, bleeding from the wound from the Hydra that we just chased away. I'm breathing heavily. I pick up my short sword. I stand up, lean against the tree nearby.
I'm up on my hind legs with blood running down my face, and I'm peering out into the darkness, trying to see where this monster ran off to.
The direction of the monster appearing to be northwest, downhill, deeper into the forest, into the valley itself. Red bastard.
I'm inside the roots of a very large tree. I'm chewing on something. I'm squeezed into this tight hole. My eyes reflecting a little bit of some moonlight. Anxious, squirming every now and then, but nonetheless silent, listening.
In the darkness, the first song of a bird can be heard, tweeting as the forest starts to wake up, sensing the sun approaching.
I touching on my wound, and I'm looking at my blood on my hand. I move toward a little fallen tree nearby. I sit on its side. I say, "Omelet, come help your master a bit."
I turn around and I look towards Kaharn, and I'm bound over towards him on all fours again and kind of sniff at his wounds.
Hearing the first bird singing, I start crawling my way out of the roots, some of them snapping and dropping chunks of mud. I slowly stand up, rubbing my hands, ears drip down, anxious, looking around, and I slowly start walking my way back.
Steam rises from the eviscerated head of a Hydra.
I point toward the head. I say at Omelet, I say, "This bitch almost got me."
My hair's all bristled up from trying to make myself as big and intimidating as possible, but I start to shake my head like a dog shaking the water off, and the skin of this bear kind of sloths off, and I return to my normal lizard folk form. I say to Kaharn, "Be still, rest, conserve your strength."
I'm still standing. By air.
walking calmly through the same path that I viciously ran through last night. I gently touch my scrapped ear. I'm muttering to myself.
Your companions, or at least their outline, come into view.
I stop before showing myself. One of my left ear perks up and directs itself towards them.
I'm sitting on my log, taking my breath. I look at a spotted bird in the tree, singing, and I grab a little pebble from the ground and I throw it at the bird. Seeing him fly away, I laugh. Then I enjoy that
flutter.
laughing actually hurt me.
Fluttering of wings as it disappears together with 3 other birds, part of the flock.
As I'm sort of assessing all Karen's injuries, I reach into my component pouch and I pull out a little sprig of mistletoe, and I cup it in my hands and bring it up to my mouth, and I whisper something in Druidic, and there's a little glow in my hands. And when I open my hands up again, all the berries have swollen up to be big and plump, the size of grapes. And I hand a few of these to Karen, and I say, "Eat this; it'll help."
grab the berries and look at them and say, "You don't have any meats, fruits." And I shove them in my mouth. I chew loudly.
Speaking from a little bit afar, I catch a glimpse of Kaharn, and I kick the ground a bit. He's alive. And I walk towards them, clearly making myself be seen, but I'm quiet, just walking meekly.
The berries going down your gullet feel you with a gentle warmth and rejuvenate some of your energies, regaining a hit point per berry.
I look at Omelet and say, "I do feel better after this quick snack. Thank you." And then I turn toward Rat. And so there you are.
My ears and shoulders instantly drop when Kaharn talks to me. Yes, master. Good, you survived. This is very, very fortunate, master.
I point toward the Hydra's head on the ground. I say, pick that head up. I want to bring it back to the camp. That's gonna be a nice trophy."
Ears flopping. I bow. Yes, master. And I slumber towards the head, a bit scared of it.
As I'm sort of, I've got my water skin, and I'm pouring water over some of your wounds that are still healing, and I say, the creature may come back. We should probably find a safer location.
I agree. Let's get going. I want to go back to camp, bring that head back, and I want to come back to capture that creature.
We can't suffer
I'm-
that to be in your territory.
A flock of birds fly off in the distance, spooked by something. To the west, not up or downhill, but aligned on the same level.
I'm holding into the Hydra's head, trying to pull it, but I'm stationless. I can only move dirt. Trying to lift it.
I stand up. I slap my thigh. I say, I'm feeling better. Let's get moving. Let's go back to camp. Rat, hurry up with that head.
Yes, master. Yes. Omelet, come here.
I scurry over to Rat, and I await his instructions.
I'm breathing heavy, sweat dripping down my forehead. You okay?
The head
Kind of
itself weighing about 3 stones, the equivalent of 18 kilograms.
I'm not
Good.
bothered by the blood kind of dripping from it.
I grab
I roll my
some
shoulder.
rope. I grab the rope that I picked up from the trap earlier, and I throw it at them.
I scurry towards the rope, grabbing by one end, and here, tie around the head. I kind of throw the one bit of the rope towards Omelet.
The Hydra having several ivory growing out like bristles from the back of its jaw.
I I route the rope. I route the rope through its mouth and then out the esophagus and tie it.
I look at Omelet do. And I say, maybe we should use some of that rope to tie the rat too, so he doesn't run away again.
Do not run away, master. I shoot it. I meekly point to my quiver, trembling a bit.
I'm sure you did. Let's get going. In the time of the Lord, Nedib, Ishtab, they had such beasts to use for war. If we can capture it, we can rise to run the clan.
I'm walking to catch pace with Kaharn. But they used old magics, master.
I chime in.
Yeah.
The creature's not natural to this place.
Imagine you saw like when the head got cut off, some more grew back up.
The darkness slowly lifts as twilight approaches.
I put forward my cowl. Maybe that can mean endless food if we capture it.
You're thinking too small. Think about how you can unleash that beast on a camp of men, or even better, a camp of knife here.
I'm just nodding.
But maybe,
Back to camp then, master.
yes. Let's get moving. I start walking toward the camp.
I tug on the rope, and the Hydra's head kind of flops around as it drags through the foliage. It's on the ground.
Before going ahead, I cast a quick glance backwards just to see if they read the area before moving forward.
The pool of blood from the Hydra's beheading and where it was stationed. The young orc, face first, on the ground, not moving. Otherwise, pushed aside trace of the carnage of the Hydra. As Kaharn moves forward to the camp.
Yeah, I'm slowly moving, like still holding up my wound. And I stop. I turn toward the young orc. I point to it. I say, "Right, go see if that idiot has anything of value on him." And I turn back and start walking again.
I was already halfway going towards the orc. Yes, master. Yes. I pretty much run on all fours, stopping with the side of the orc child. Start touching and lifting the furs he's wearing.
On the child, you spot the spear slung over his back, attached through a belt that's snapped in half from the fall, and a stone hatchet.
I grab a stone hatchet and stand up.
It looks fairly balanced and useful as a throwing tool or cutting whatever you need to.
I look at the kid and I kick twice, see if it reacts.
It moves a bit, and you can hear a wince, like a wince of pain. His eyes flutter, but stay closed.
In one motion, I lift the hatchet right on its neck.
The cut, pumping fresh blood over your freshly acquired weapon.
I put my feet on its neck to pull back the hatchet, lick the hatchet, and run toward back to Kaharn to catch pace.
The base is reached as the sun rises on the east side, illuminating your surroundings. The camp, ashen, the marked trees, making it easy to spot for Omelet.
The head that I'm dragging, it's kind of spinning around as it's dragged through the foliage, and every once in a while I have to allow the rope to uncoil a little bit because it's spun up so much. And there's lots of twigs and leaves stuck into all the exposed membranes and bloody parts.
I'm resting on a stick, on a branch or a stick that I found. Slowly walking toward the camp, waiting a bit, like looking over my shoulder, making sure the other one are following.
I'm walking with the hatchet, spotted on my shoulder, but just about 2 meters away from Kaharn.
I look at Rada and I say, if one have a chance to capture that beast, we will need some allies. We'll need some people from the camp. We need to think carefully, not find it too ambitious.
Yes, master, yes. Red bastard, no, a few.
Yeah. How are you doing there, Omelet?
Oh. I'm glancing between the two of you as I'm standing at your side, and you can see the gears kind of turning in my head as I contemplate what it would mean to have a Hydra.
I point toward the head. I say, do you think this flesh can be eaten?
I reach down and pick it up and give it a sniff, and then start chewing on it. And as I pull back, the flesh tears away and snaps, and I gulp it down, and
The
I
flesh
kinda-
of the Hydra tastes like kin.
like a kin.
Do we move?
Yeah. Let's get back. I need some rest before we can make a move. And I start like moving again, resting on my stick.
Do you wish us to be quiet for now, master, about your deal?
Quiet. When we come back with this trophy,
Yes, but they wish to speak to you.
yeah,
Very well then.
we need to come back. Glorious. If you want to have the respect. I cannot come back with my tails between my legs.
Well, they did not know what really happened. You bring trophy, and you have wounds to prove it.
Yes. I start walking toward the hut. The little agglomeration of Yorkish hut.
I follow after you with the Hydra head, holding it up with my arms across my chest.
Going behind Omelet on the I stump of a tree. I purchased stump of a tree, and with my bone dagger, I scribe a little tiny rune on the bark.
Towns from the forest off to the west, a region you have not yet explored, talking in a language uncommon to you guys, off to the distance, reaching on the wind your ears.
I drop the hatchet on the floor on the hut in the hut. Did you hear that?
Hear what?
cracking of footsteps approaching.
stop.
A foreign tongue.
So yeah, I just heard somebody step.
I
draw
drop the
one of my
Hydra head on
sword.
the ground.
I rush towards the entrance of the hut, seeing who it is.
One man speaking to another, the size of Kaharn Pa'Up. Usk ole selo rap ebodero. Shoulders relaxed. The other one holding a bow, himself wielding a big axe with two hands, approaching there directly towards you.
I in a jerk reaction, jump back inside to the hut. Man, you man! I'm taking my bow out of my back.
I drop my my stick to the ground and draw my second sword.
Omelet.
I position myself close to the door, but set up off to the side, sort of flanking it, where I can get as much of a vantage point, and I can hear anything approaching.
One
The
of them is
open forest leaving little room to hide. The tree trunks big enough to stand behind. The bushes in this area almost all dead from the dense foliage, allowing little sunlight to reach the forest floor.
one's got an axe. The other has a bow. I'm backing. My back is already touching the against the ladder of the hut. They're coming towards here.
Who's coming? What do they want?
I don't know. They're probably the hunters.
I mean, no
Omelet.
state to fight.
I ready my shield. I with the shield interposed between me and the door, I step out and I step into the door frame and look out at the creatures that are approaching.
The two men, the one with the axe, saying something. The other one breaks out in a boisterous laughter. Strange behaviors. Say, as one of them points out the tree, give me a stealth check, pointing in your direction. A success.
I tuck away back inside the hut and turn to Kaharn, and I tell him there are two humans in the camp. Should we kill them?
Yes, of course. What do they want? What do they do here?
Does it matter? They know better.
We did have our mark, saying it's Orcish territory to stay out. I go toward the door of the hut. I look over my shoulder to a rat. So you're not gonna run this time, are you?
I have my bow in my hand and an arrow in the other. No, Red doesn't run away, master. Stay together. I gulp.
I step out.
The humans were talking and walking, stop in their track, spotting Kaharn Pa'Up. The guy with the axe yells out, "Orc!" The other one draws the bow and not just an arrow.
I spread out my arm with my one short sword in each hand, right? And I look at them, taunting them.
They exchange a glance. The guy with the axe nods and approaches you, coming
Inside
up
the hut.
to 30 feet, keeping his axe ready in a battle stance.
Inside the hut, I look at Omelet. You go stand beside master.
I pull the wolf pelt down over my face and transform into a dire wolf and bound out in front of Kaharn and snarl my teeth at the approaching humans.
I'm still in the tent with an arrow and bow, ears twisting, just listening to everything.
The hunter are scared by the wolf bounding out to the orc side, loses an arrow to the dire wolf. Striking you. For 5 damage. The second human itself, seeing the wolf next to Kaharn Pa'Up, stops in its tracks and starts backpedaling a bit, talking to the other guy in an unnatural language. It's Alloway, the wolf.
I start running toward the archer. Driven by my
The man
aggressive
stands in
nature.
your way. Positioned between both of you.
As I run, I try to shove him.
He sees you coming and goes for a swing. The axe swinging past your shoulder, missing.
Yeah,
Oh!
I bump him like a big tackle. I keep moving toward the archer.
I peer my head to from inside of the tent, and I seeing Kaharn running towards them. I drop my bow and arrow on the ground and I sprint to reach him, trying to stand beside him.
No problem for a rogue of your skills.
I pull out 2 bone daggers. I'm running towards them, and I leap to try and stab the man who the fallen man with both daggers.
You gain advantage for the man being on the floor.
Actually, I land with only one of my daggers, damaging his forearm.
How much damage?
1 damage.
Omelet.
I bound out around the one that's on the ground towards the archer, and I try to sink my teeth into it.
The man, the archer, being 60 foot away from your starting position.
I dash out towards the archer then.
The archer, fumbling for an arrow, sees now both the orc and the wolf in his face. And he pulls out a short sword made out of iron, swinging out to the wolf with the arrow stuck in your shoulder. A 12.
Misses.
The guy with the axe pushes himself off the floor and swings with his axe to Red Bastard, yelling out, "Retreat!" A strike. 4 or 5 damage. Red Bastard.
I get pushed by the knockback, bleeding a little, and I start scurrying on the ground backwards, trying to getting up and running the opposite direction now.
Corn Pop.
Yeah, I'm getting to the archer, and I strike him with both my short sword. But I cannot find purchase. I'm just swinging a bit too soon. Not quite there. Like still bothered by my injury. I miss with both my sword.
He deflects the first blow, dodges out from the other. His footwork seeming quite adept. Omelet.
I take advantage of the pressure that Karen's applying to this archer, and I lunge out to bite. Uh, 24.
Strike.
As my teeth sink into this archer, I try to wrestle him to the ground. I need a strength save.
A failure. He's thrown to the floor, yelling out in pain, bloodied and beaten, and he yells out. It sounds like submission to you. Red bastard.
Back on my feet, I after getting some distance, I look back at the man, and I start taunting him now. Yeah, come here. I'm like trying to make distract him.
The archer, begging for his life, grappled to the floor. He appears to have more met his match and clings to life, barely able to keep his eyes open. The Axeman, distracted by Red Bastard, goes for another strike with his Dane axe. Which is 13.
This strike, I jump to the side. X goes straight to the ground.
He snarls at you. Corn pop.
I go to the. I stand next to the archer, and I take one of my short sword, and I put it like straight in his face, right under his eyes, and I try to push it in. I press like the blade.
It's a death blow.
Slowly. I push the blade inside to the eyes, inside the brain, looking at him, smiling.
Face of shock, forever stuck on his face. Omelet.
I feel the body go limp in my jaws and release the archer and turn around to look at the axeman. I gauge whether I can get to him to help.
A 15-foot distance from where you're standing.
I rush towards him and try to bite him, taking advantage of the distraction that Rat is imposing on him.
You have advantage.
$24. I leap up and bite him in the shoulder and try to use my weight to push him towards the ground. That's a success.
He rolls his shoulder at your tech, deep gashes, but remains keeps his composure as he throws you off. Red bastard.
I snarl back at him with almost a piranha-like smile, and I launch my dagger on his thigh.
He blocks your attack with a spin against your chest, throwing you off as he barrels past you to have both of his enemies on the same side, taking a step back for another swing, chopping you down like a wood. With an 11.
I get pushed, though I'm still standing up. I stumble back like 4 steps.
Kaharn Pa'Up.
I pull my sword back from the skull of the archer. Then I look at the other two, and I just crouch down, and I wipe the blade on the clothes of the archer.
Rabbits garnered on strings around his neck, 2 of them. Omelets.
Try to circle around behind this axeman so that he's between Rat and I, and then I lunge at his calves.
He twists to meet your attack. Do an attack roll.
7.
Oh, got it. A miss as he leaps out of the way just in time. A bloodied man fighting for his life, adrenaline shooting through his body. His eyes dart back to the goblin, but it's your turn, rat bastard.
I with the bone dagger in my hand, I throw it up, so I pick by the end and I throw it towards his face. The dagger goes over his head. I kick the ground in frustration.
Fighting for his life, he yells out in pain and anger to swing his axe one more time at rat bastard. Too exhausted to strike. He just doesn't have enough strength left in his arms.
I walk toward the axeman, toward his back. Not too much to repays. I put my I lift my leg, and I give him like a big push kick in the back. That's gonna be 22.
He falls to his hands and knees, the weapon knocked out. Knocked off his hands as he catches his fall. Now sprawling, throwing him, trying to turn around to keep eyes on his enemies. Omelet.
I lunge out for one of his ankles.
A strike.
I sink my teeth in and begin jerking my head back and forth.
It's a death blow. His body goes limp as you flying across the leaves back and forth to the ravaged nature. The leg coming off in your mouth.
I see the scene, and Omelet, like in his dire wolf form, shaking the body limp. Put my sword away. I kick him, the guy, like on the. I push the shoulder a bit with my feet, and I say, "Ah, he's dead already. Could have played a bit. It's a shame."
I'm inspecting the wound on my arm, almost distracted, looking down at it, like snarling a bit.
I've got the human's leg resting on one paw, and I've got my other paw over the top of it, and I'm like gnawing at it near the knee.
The feet have quite an interesting smell.
I grab a piece of rope. I go to the archer's body, and I start like tying up his feet together. And I drag the body near by a tree with like a branch where I can hang it down.
Sure enough, the body itself covered with rugged leather to protect themselves with some pelts or warmth, and the two rabbits falling to the floor as he's hung upside down.
I lean towards the fallen axeman with my other bone dagger, and I rip a piece of fabric. I start tying a makeshift tourniquet on my arm.
Now, at this point, my whole muzzle is covered in blood, and the white wolf hair is just stained completely red on my face.
I take one of my short sword out. I slice the throat of the archer, letting the blood flow. And then I start like cutting his clothes and armor off, cutting the buckle, stripping him naked.
Heavy iron contraption falls to the floor together with his clothing, hidden under a piece of pelt. Together with the long bow and a quiver full of arrows.
After after making sure the tourniquet is tight, I look at Omelet, and you're enjoying that?
I'm pulling my head back, and the muscle and skin is like stretching until it pops, snaps, kind of slaps my jowls, and I like flick it up in the air and scarf it down.
I stand up and walk towards Kaharn, and I yell a bit. That'll be a good warning, Master. My voice clearly a bit tired.
I look at Rat and I say, "Warning! I was about to make barbecue. You want to light a fire?" And I start like skinning the men.
Oh yeah, it's very clever. And I was walking straight forward as I hear barbecue. I do a sharp turn towards the woods and just collect some firewood.
I look at Omelet eating on the Axeman. I say, "You can have this one."
I've got the head of the one of the long bones in my teeth, and my teeth are like scraping against it, and it kind of crunches, and I start eating the marrow.
The bone splintering under pressure.
I'm pulling like the skin back with like the knowing where to put the cut to remove it like a jacket, just pulling it out, stretching in, throwing the human leather on the floor, cutting around the neck.
I am piling up some sticks on my arms, and after a while, I return back with a decent size, a decent amount of sticks, and sit on the ground, arrange them, preparing a fire.
With the fire roaring, a good hour passes as the party gathers what they need. The scent of flesh roasted in the air.
I'm sitting on a piece of stone that was sticking from the floor nearby the fire, looking at those pieces of meat. I grab one that seemed roasted enough, blow at it a bit on it, start biting into it. So that's gonna help me regain some strength. It's good men meat.
I'm gnawing on a hand. So there really are men then around here, Master. Do you wish to inform the chief? I'm chewing.
Yes, we'll need to tell the tribe for sure.
Do you think the monster? Do you think they're related somehow?
You think the man brought the monster here?
Maybe the men came after the monster.
I'd like to send that monster against those men.
Having had my fill, I shake my mane until the form of the wolf kind of sheds away like a snake skin, and I walk up to Rat and have a look at this injury on his arm, and I say, "You're wounded."
I have a somewhat of a blank stare towards Omelet. Go ahead.
I get up from my stone and I go. Now that my hunger has been satiated, I go to where like the stuff that I stripped from the man, and I start like digging in the pile, looking for anything of values. I find the dead rabbit. I lift them and I laugh. I say, "Well, anybody's up for more?" And I throw the rabbit toward the rat.
Among the assorted tools, the signs of a hunter, some string, a metal contraption with big teeth, and a spring, twisted metal spiraling hooked on to the other end. It appears to be not active. A small bag made of leather holding the jingling of coin, and a dagger.
I grab the pouch of coin. I quickly open it, look at it, jingle it a bit, tie it to my belt.
Glints of silver reflecting the sunlight.
I grab the dagger in a sheet and I throw it to Rat. Say, is that better than what you got?
I look towards Kaharn. Still on the ground and just reach towards the dagger. Yes, Master Kaharn. Yes. Thank you very much. Much generous you are, Master. I bow in, like, quite close to me. I look back at Omelet. You. I point to my bandaged arm. Do your bad juju.
I set my hand on his shoulder and I say, "Wait here," and I start making my way towards the closest trees near the village.
You make your way towards the trees, towards the village.
I look up in the branches of the trees and spotting something, I begin climbing up.
Okay.
I'm
I go back to sit next to Rat, grab another piece of meat out of gluttony. I start like gnawing on it.
I'm inspecting the dagger, unsheathing it, trying to look at my own reflection. Like I show my teeth, I kind of inspecting myself on the shyness.
Warped, quite warped. The dagger itself, well worn, and often used, not well kept, but out of an iron ore.
She did it, and hold on my belt where my previous bomb dagger was. I'm looking back, I'm trying to look for Omelet.
At this point, I'm up some distance in the tree, and I'm plucking little sprigs of mistletoe out of the clump of this green plant that's kind of entangled in the branches, and placing these in my component pouch.
The red berries growing at this time of year.
I grab my skin of a ale, pull out the cork, and I start drinking on it. And then I offer it to Rat next to me.
I hesitate. I'm looking towards Kaharn a bit. And I slowly reach towards the skin, like very, very gently, squeezing it, seeing if he will release his grip before I pull towards me.
I hold the grip for a moment, looking at Rat intensely with little eyes, and then I let go of the grip, keeping my eyes like intensely on him.
My ears are touching my shoulders the whole time. I pull the skin towards me, and I supported the underside. And without touching my lips, I make it dribble a bit on my open mouth, like my tongue's going all around my lips. And I extend it back, still like smacking.
Still like keeping my gaze like fixed on Rat. I grab the skin back, and I keep on drinking.
I slide down the trunk quickly, using my claws to hold on and make my way back over to Rat. With one of the sprigs of mistletoe, I perform the same ritual, holding it in my hands and then whispering in Druidic, and then producing these grape-sized berries,
My ears
offering them.
twitch during the whole incantation. I make a nasty face and I grab one. Yeah, bad Georgia. I'm gonna start eating it, like chewing, chewing it very loud.
Consuming the berry, any pangs of hunger fades, and a warm feeling floods your body as the wound itself slowly stitches itself together.
I start ripping the tourniquet like apart. I look at Kaharn. The Lich could bring the dead back. You think he can learn that, huh, Master?
Maybe over time that'd be useful.
Yes, maybe too useful.
You think all those stories about the Lich were true?
I run my hand through my stained lips. Yes, the other goblins, they share stories. He was like a god.
I step back up. I walk back to the hanging body, the body that's hanging upside down, and I pull my sword out, and I grab the hair of the archer, and with a swift motion, I slice the head off, and I throw it to Omelet. I say, "Go put that on a anthill somewhere and mark it. I want it back. I want the skull back."
I I offer the rest of the berries that I'm holding to Rat, and give Karen a silent nod, retrieving the head, and then sniffing around, and I start to walk off in a random direction.
I'm sitting back
I'm
on
bundling.
my boulder.
I'm bundling the berries.
I sit back on my boulder, drinking. I say I'll need to have a good night's sleep before we can do anything else.
Yes, master. Rat will take care of master.
The forest is filled with many different scents. Some predators, some prey. The human stench leading off to the west. Your own coming from the south of your original position, and you've started to scout. The Hydra who has disappeared to the northeast. And local wildlife keeping a distance.
I stand up and I whip my cock out and I start pissing in the fire, laughing.
I'm sitting on a tree stump, keeping watch. I cast a glance at Kaharn and I snarl, silence. Dagger in hand.
I set the head down upright, so it almost looks like the person is buried in the ground, and kind of twist it and adjust it to try to keep it from tipping over. And then, satisfied, I turn around to return to my companions.
The red hair, disheveled, and start approaching their meal, scurrying over its cheek and into his nose.
Seeing Omelet approaching back, I yell, Master Kaharn will rest for now.
Yeah. And I'm done pissing, like I put my cock back in my pen. I say, yeah, I'll go sleep now. And then I head to the hut. And I lie down with my skin of ale, still sipping slowly.
The
Put my
skin
scotch
itself
aside.
light in your hand.
Yeah.
I look at the Omelet, now speaking in Goblin. Do you think you can learn more? And I point to the pile of berries.
More?
Yes, more magics. Omelet would never feel any hunger if you learn more magics.
Oh. I'm not sure what you mean.
I approach. I walk towards you a bit. My ears drip down. The great Lich was master to all, slave to none, because of powerful magics.
I kind of tilt my head to the side and have a puzzled look on my face, and I just say, yes.
The strongest lead. Magic's very strong. And I tap my forehead.
I have a blank expression on my face, and I just slowly nod up and down.
I narrow my eyes a bit, looking at Omelet.
I'm falling asleep in the hut, spilling the rest of the ale that was in the skin on myself and on the ground.
I still speaking in Goblin. What do you really think of Kaharn?
I look at Rat and I say, he's our leader. What do you mean?
I point to the tent. Leaders are more careful. Do you see Chief doing same things?
I just kind of shake my head side to side.
I point towards the remnants of the flayed man. He could have been leader too. Look at him now.
I look at the corpse on the ground, and I say to Rat, now he's meat.
Yes, and so almost were I, you, even Kaharn. I kick the ground. Some dry dust flies off in frustration, and I scuttle towards the woods once again. Comment shortly. You watch Kaharn.
Could you say that again?
You watch Kaharn. I'll be back shortly after. And I scuttle towards the woods once again.
I make my way over to the hut and go inside.
I walking on a slightly higher pace. I start making my way back to where the battle was fought against the Hydra.
I'm sleeping like soundly in the hut already. I'm moving a bit as I'm almost waking up, but not.
As I get inside, I close the door behind me and kind of set my things down and curl up in a little spot on the floor and begin resting.
After a while, I'm at the stage of the previous battle. I hear a crow approaching it. The crow is biting off a few chunks of the dead orc child. I approach it. Sure, beast. I inspected the corpse once again to see if anything else happened to it.
The corpse itself have been gnawed on by some critters. Most of its body is still intact. Besides the bite-sized chunks missing of flesh missing from his body now.
I flip the body so its back it's turned up towards the sky. I lift the belt he's wearing, and with the dagger I start carving on his back in Orcish, Kaharn. And then I flip the fur back and kick it back to the previous position. Hit my dagger and start running back towards camp.
Still sleeping in the tent, like turning and tossing, and the wineskin that was half fallen on me, like it's falling completely on the ground, spitting the leftover content.
The camp coming in view, red bastard. The slight snoring coming from the hut, with the door leaned close, unable to completely shut in its ramshackle state.
Breathing a bit heavy from the slight jog. I stand upright, looking at the entrance, and I get the dagger that Kaharn gave me, and I toss it far away into the woods.
It disappears forever.
I sit down at the remnants of the burned human, the cooked human. I start nibbling a bit more.
The sun moves across the sky, turning morning to midday to the afternoon. There's
I'm like as it's getting hot in the hut. I wake up, opening my eyes, feeling a bit like touching myself. I'm wet. I look at the ale skin. I say, who tried to take my wineskin, my ale skin during the night? Pick it back up, find the cork on the ground. Cork it back, even though it's empty. Put it back on my belt, set a bit.
I look up from the floor at Kaharn as he's kind of abruptly awakened. And I notice that there's a piece of shedding skin that is coming off on my arms, and I begin like picking at it.
I'm still outside the tent. Now I'm walking in circles around the tent, looking around. I have my bone dagger once again.
I look at Omelet. Say, you're growing, boy.
I'm like putting the little bits of dead skin in my mouth as I look up to you, just like eating them.
I stand up and I stretch my back, roll my muscle a bit, head toward the flap of the hut. Where's that
Master.
goblin?
Yes, master.
So nobody came to visit us?
Nothing. Only bugs and bugs.
I look at
look
the-
at the sky.
I look to where the Hydra is, and I approach it.
Its tongue hanging out of its jaw, now covered in ants trying to steal whatever they can.
I brush the ants off, pick the head up. I say, "Fuck, we should have like hang that one in the tree."
I get up and head out of the hut and see what my companions are doing outside.
I approach Kaharn. Worry not about the dirt and the bugs, Master. What we need now is a report to the chief.
Yes. Yes. Let's head back to the chief and tell us about what we encounter.
The chief will probably make you head of the hunt. That's very good, isn't it, Master?
It's gonna be very good for now, but I have like bigger aim.
I'm looking towards you, waiting for you to further on.
I turn toward the hut and say, "Omelet, you ready?"
I give you a nod and walk down from the steps.
Let's go talk to the chief.
Very well.
And I shoulder the rope with the Hydra head, and I start like walking toward the tribe chief hut.
The chieftain's hut is a large distance away from the forests, all the way back in the Badlands, past a overturned tree. A good day's journey.
We should be there safely. Those two men were fools to venture so deep into the woods. Now you report about them too?
Yes. You can show them the dagger I gave you as proof.
Yes. And my ears drop down. I'm already like rubbing my hands together, looking around.
I'm following in tow behind the two of them.
We'll keep walking overnight. We should be there by morning.
Yes. I'm itching myself like very uneasy, like adjusting my belt with the daggers, scratching my ear, looking around.
I'm replacing like regularly like the Hydra head, like the rope on my shoulder. Hurrying up the pace.
The darkness comes as hours go by. With the sunset, the clearing of the forest becoming lighter and disappearing. The group reaching the upturned tree to known familiar territory.
I'm walking. I look at them. I see they're minding their path, And I purposely drop myself on the ground, making a huge thud. Like,
I stop. I turn around. So what's happening?
sorry, but I stumble. And I make my stand up, push away some dry leaves. I press on forward.
You can carry your own load anymore.
Rats is still useful, master.
I let him pass in front of me.
I walk in front of him, like looking at him all the way to see if he's gonna bit me or something.
I'm just like staring.
And you wish me to lead the way then? I stop a few feet in front of you, looking up
Yeah, just
very meekly.
keep walking. I'll pick you up if you fall. Then I turn toward
I nod.
Omelet, and I nod to him to go forward.
I'm at your heel and nod in acknowledgement and begin moving forward.
And I move in the back. I'm in a bad mood. Much more silent than I usually are.
I'm leading the way back to the camp. Yeah, every now and then I cast a glance back.
Pathfinding the group through the Badlands, this territory being hilly terrain, breaking line of sight easily as jagged rocks pierce out of the ground like gods themselves fought over this land, destroying most of the floors, almost like it has been poisoned by an evil will, as very few critters survive, and even less flora grows in this area. The party.
I'm regularly like reaching back for my ale skin, and every time like I realize, like once again, I remember that it's empty, and my mood sour a bit more. I'm getting in worse and worse mood as we go through. Then I'm thinking about how I shared with Rat the night before. And all of a sudden it become like his fault.
I'm keeping pace, walking next to Rat as we lead the party. But I'm keeping my eyes, keeping my view forward. I don't bother to glance back or to see what's going on beside me.
We still have a little bit to go. Should get there before daylight. I hope.
Starting to feel the weight of this Hydra head on my shoulder. And I say, I yell at Rat. I say, Rat, how come I'm the one carrying the trophy?
I immediately
I
stop.
drop the head on the floor. What are you going for?
Very well, Mister. Rest your shoulders. I meekly walk towards the head. Like I struggle a bit. Now I take a deep breath. So I put it on my back. So I basically carrying this head that is as large as my upper body, holding both straps. I start walking a bit heavy now.
Don't drop it. Don't slow
The
down.
tongue itself falling over your head past your ear, resting on your shoulder.
Yeah. Yes, messed up. My previously silent steps now can be heard.
I look at Rat as he's struggling to manage the load, and just continue walking.
Keep walking behind them, and I'm keeping an eye on Rat, a bit amused by seeing him struggle.
I'm sweating, like with each step. Every now adjusting the rope, my skin getting reddish through the friction. I avoid eye contacts with Kaharn.
I start like walking faster, like I hurry up the pace. I'm in the back, and I say, "Come on, I want to get there before dawn." So I push them like to go faster.
I close my eyes and just yes. I'm being a bit sonorous. I'm grunting quite a bit with each step.
The moon shines the light moving across the sky as the witching hour is called past midnight. Some bonfires can be spotted far in the distance as the silhouette of a rising great hall marks the main building of the orcish encampment. Itself a good 3 stories tall.
So there we are, just in time.
I'm wheezing, a lot of sweat on my face.
You're right,
Noticing
Rat.
I turn to Rat and hold out one of my claws.
Before doing anything, just with my eyes moving, I look towards Kaharn. Like cat's eyes in the dark. Reading him.
I ignore him and I start like walking and getting the lead of the pack. I say, let's get back home. Let's go report to the chief and get the glory we deserve. And I start like walking. Now my head up high, my shoulder broad.
I turn my back towards Omelet, not saying say anything, like presenting the straps.
Yes,
As he presents the straps to me, I wrangle it off of his back and begin carrying it.
I sigh a bit, like, and I start running my hands on both my shoulders, and just start walking, defeated, behind Kaharn.
chafe marks from the rope burning on your skin. As the party approaching the palisades, not the walls, but spiked trees rammed into the flooring to stop any marauders from approaching. We hear orcs grunt out towards the party, seeing the head, and yelling out a warrior's cheer as
I yell
the
out
camp
back.
wakes up.
I yell out back, say, "It's Kaharn! I'm coming back with some news from the woods." And I turn, I look over my shoulder to see if the two are following. And then I dart back. I go back up front, looking ahead, and then I dart back toward Rat and toward Omelet. And I turn toward Rat. I say, point toward Omelet. I say, "Why you let him do all the work again?"
Yeah. I'm running my hands on the marks. He offered himself, master.
Shake my head. And I turn back toward the palisade.
I look at Rat and just kind of shrug and begin following after Kaharn.
I follow after Omelet.
And with that, I'm gonna end this session for tonight. The party returns back to base.
Yeah.
There we
Thank you for
go.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, there's a point I was very confused, to be honest. There was the noise coming from your end as an all right. And I got this
Yes.
I got this hearing problem.
What kind of noise?
It's like a vibration or some shit.
That's very weird. Yeah, I don't know what it could have been. I mean,
It
I was
could-
thinking if maybe my wife was doing a raid next to me with her friends. So I was thinking maybe she laughed and it picked up on the mic.
She was doing a what?
A raid.
Maybe she was laughing. She was raiding.
Oh, a rave. Oh, yeah. I thought I said a
yes.
rave. I was saying, that's a bit intense. Yeah, I'm
Those are
streaming, but my
machines,
wife is doing a
rave
rave next to
in
me.
our house while I'm dungeon mastering.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, it's
yeah.
not it sounded like a humming,
A
but it
machine,
could
yeah.
just be like a electric sound. Could be like something in the electric wire of the microphone or some shit like that, right? It could be like,
Oh wow.
it could be not a real sound actually. It could be just like an artifact.
Something like a washer a bit sometimes.
Could be as
Because
well,
I was basically getting much closer with my face to the microphone
Okay.
when I was leaning forward. I was
Yeah.
thinking maybe it actually picked up my breathing,
or the
like
feedback,
noise
but no.
cancellation didn't stop it. So
If you go after the stream, you go back and listen back to you.
okay.
You'll see what I'm talking about. Like, when was it?
I will have to.
16,
Yeah,
17,
I'll
so
check
you go
it out.
about an hour in, right? An hour. You'll. Yeah.
Got it.
But anyway,
What made me more confused though, like at one point I wasn't sure if we were back at the camp or at the encampment or at our camp, you know.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was confused there, right?
Yes. Yeah.
In the hut, back in the hut, like what the hut is like. There's a huge part that I missed, and I was trying to pick up the, I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
Oh my god! I have no idea. I was lost because I thought you're going back to the camp set up in the forest. Because if you're going back to the orcs, that's a day's travel, and I didn't I didn't spot you guys. Well, you went at an upturned tree and went to the forest, right? So that
the upturned tree was a day out of the orc camp.
The upturned tree is the edge of your territory.
Yeah, I thought it would be much closer to where actually the orc live, right? I thought when we're back at the hut, I thought the other orcs would just be a few paces away.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess we never established that, right? Until I brought it up.
Yeah.
It's a day's travel away. And I did see the look on your face of, hold on, I'm already in my hut. Why is it a day's travel away? But I'm thinking, oh, you guys set up a hut in the forest. I don't want to take away your 40 huts.
I guess we have
with a door you can close. I was like, oh, how do I handle this?
So our little spot is more like a little outpost.
Yeah.
away
Yeah,
from the main.
which I guess
Yeah, I
makes
guess that's
sense
what it is
considering
now.
Kaharn's position.
Yeah.
In the end, yeah. But I
Yeah.
was really lost. I think at the beginning there, I was. It took me a while to get into the skin of Red Bastard. I'd say.
Oh yeah.
You
I got
know.
there.
Yeah, you have to flay the skin first before you put it
Yeah.
on, red bastard.
Yeah.
It took me
There
a while.
was, I feel very much the struggle with moving. I don't want to move the party, and
Mhm.
I struggle to find the appropriate moment to move the party, because there were definitely several times of we go back to the camp, we go back to the huts.
Yeah.
But I was still describing the forced. At some point, Omelet described that you're sniffing around, right? So I'm like, well, okay, Omelet is going to tell me what he's sniffing for. And he didn't. So I described all the scents that he has picked up throughout the adventure so far.
That's why, like, I don't know if you watched the last video I put out, right, on about anchoring and stuff like that. And I talk about that in the how to do the time skip and the location skip. I think that's a good trick to have. Like, if we can all go around,
Yes.
right? And that's and at some point also, like, there was some point also I didn't say anything because I wanted, like, I just took a turn. I
Yeah.
talk a lot, right? I have a fucking
Mhm.
big mouth, so you have to take your turns, guy.
You guys kind of, it felt for me like Kaharn wanted to move on for sure, but then Red Bastard was looking for moments to have his little schemes
Yeah.
and play out something. So I was like waiting for that to set.
Mm.
Okay, when is Nicholas with his?
And I would have had more there at the end before the game ended. It were not for the our dungeon master. I would have
Oh,
set up another planted another seed, but it'll be for the next game.
yeah. But I like the like that. I can at some point, like when I went to sleep and stuff like that, and then like Omelet went as well, like, and then you kept going with Rad, right? I think that Rad was the right thing to do, right? It's all right if you
Okay.
have his little momentum on its own. Well, that's how I feel anyway. I feel that was right, right? Like, I'm okay with sometimes, like, like, yeah, let him have his cool thing that he can do, right? And now, like, planting seed, trying to frame.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kaharn can
was
fucking read and write.
because
God.
we had 2 dead bodies, and I did an hour skip because in my head, okay, we don't have to go into full details of all the ways you mutilate human corpse after the fact. So, and you guys want to eat it? Okay, that's clear. We can skip an hour of you guys are sated or eating, and like come up with a plan, a structure of what to do next. But I felt very much like we chose the gritty rules. A short rest being 8 hours, like you need to sleep, and the long rest being awake. It felt like you guys were not sure like how fast to move the pace forward, or was it me? Is it I'm not sure how to move the pace forward with the party.
Well,
Because
that's
there's not much. Go ahead.
I was about to say that, like, that's the thing when we're just like going around, right, and just everyone do like a mundane action, right, that can be like can take some time. Then that's probably a sign that we're due for a time skip or for location skip if we're traveling, right? When we say like, oh, I'm moving into the wood and I'm walking around resting on my stick, right? That's me saying,
yes,
I have nothing else I want to do before we reach destination, right? You can just like I'm okay at that point. Like, that's me saying I'm okay for us to fast travel us to the next destination. But but then you have to go to the rest of the people because they have a chance to do something as well, right?
Right. Yes.
Yeah. But if everybody does this kind of action, that's when it's like, yeah, okay, then either you arrive to the next point where something happened, or maybe you do a midpoint kind of like, okay, or you're still just going along, or then you just say like, okay, then like at the hut or whatever, right? Just like you move.
And that's the difficult part as a game master, because a few times I wanted to ask, what do you guys want to do next?
Yeah.
To actually get an idea, because I was a bit lost
Yeah.
at
But
what the
we
what the
wanted to go
plan
back
is.
to the camp, right? To the tribe.
Yes.
But the time skip and location skip, they're hard to nail, like to do properly. Like I find, right? Just like because you don't want to teleport the player, you don't want to rob them of a punch T, so that it's not an easy thing to do. Oh, there you go.
It's definitely the part of like we are dancing and trying not to step on each other's toes.
Exactly. Captain Conaway, I have a question for you. How do you feel about priming the passage of time with the night begins to pass, then a tiny pause to see if someone else step in?
I like that in a way, because I was trying to find ways of I want to skip time now without forcing it onto the players. They still have stuff they want doing. So I did a 1 hour time skip for roasting the meat. Okay, you're like literally flailing the guy. It's more than just like sending a message. It's about we're hungry. We can skip to mealtime.
Yeah.
I feel like I could have helped progress things more as well. Yeah.
How?
I feel like I was too passive this session, I think, as a player.
Think so? I don't know.
Yeah, and I think it's because, like I said, like we start playing. I was not like fluid, but by the second half, I feel like, or the last third, I would say, like I was like, okay, yeah, Red Bastard, like I remember how to be Red Bastard again.
Yeah, but I like for me, like I like the dynamics that is developing between the tree, right? The tree of like you trying to get Omelet on your side, Omelet being kind of loyal, and Kaharn kind of being like not really realizing like it's obvious. That run is like,
I think Omelet's a little bit oblivious to the resentment, I would say.
Yeah.
I think like the impression I had is like, because he was raised as an animal, like he's not used to have higher order thinking, even though he's capable of. So that is very interesting in the character, I feel like.
There was
also like go ahead,
there was a moment about when you omelets were eating the Hydra's head, where I was thinking, do I describe the taste? Do I just let omelets tell what it tastes like? Does he need that input? And I thought, yeah, I tell you, it tastes like kin, and have you deal with that how you want.
Kin?
What did you
mean
think
like
of
people of your race? Is that what you meant?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Well, I
What
don't
else
think
would
that
it mean?
I don't think I've really interacted with other lizards, or and then if I did, I don't know if I would have eaten them yet.
Yeah.
I guess you have had like actual lizards, not lizard people though, or snakes.
Of course, there will be salamanders and lizards and stuff, like the small ones.
Salamander, they're not lizard, but
they're a fire spirit.
They're closer to frog, no?
Yeah.
Birds of prey will eat other birds, and they don't have any compunction about it. They don't have any moral hang-ups.
Yeah,
we eat other mammals. We're mammals. We eat other mammals. Like
lizard folk eating other lizards probably doesn't even, especially as a lizard folk with their lizard brain, probably has no moral compunction about it.
It's like when you eat monkey, right? You don't care about it.
I was about to mention that. Like,
it's like stuff like, which is it? The mad cow disease, like can have them.
Yeah, but that's straight up cannibalism. It's different from eating like
you can also get it
species adjacent. Yeah,
you can also get it if you eat a human. If you're human and you eat human, you shouldn't eat the brain because then you can get like some kind of like
mad human disease. Yeah.
Yeah, like, how do you call it? Like a kuru? How do you call it? Anyway, there's a name for it. I forgot now. But yeah, don't eat the brain of people that you eat. That's the PSA for today.
Exactly.
That's why we put the head on the anthill. We know better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a
Yeah.
cool scene. I like that.
Yeah. The butchering.
Yeah,
Like
but-
this fight was cool. I like the fight with the I thought it was cool.
Yeah, I was messing up the rolls, all of them.
Yeah, I think. Okay,
I
so
know.
if
I
you're,
was already. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, you just gotta make sure you have all your modifiers, so it's proficiency.
Yeah, but I thought I had them already. You know.
Most
So,
you have like a +3 dex, right?
Yeah.
Or, yeah. So all your rolls should be like +5.
Yes.
Because of my
your weapon
proficiency with the weapon I was using.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. Yeah.
You're proficient.
Yeah. So I missed a bunch of times where I should have hit.
Yes.
But it happens. It happens.
Yeah.
Not a big deal.
Oh yeah, the wild berry. That's also something like I didn't know like how much hit point I gain, and at some point I say, you know what, I'll figure out later. It's not very important now, but like
Yeah.
at some point it became important, so I had to ask in the background. Like I don't know how the spell work, and that's always the difficulty.
Yeah,
with
I wasn't
magic.
keeping track of how
Mhm.
much. I wasn't keeping track of how hurt you guys were, so I wasn't sure like
Yeah.
when you would be full,
Yeah.
so to speak.
Yeah.
So I know you
said
were
liked
really
it.
hurt, so I just I figured I'd
Yeah.
just give you
Me?
all of them.
Because you
I had like
died.
I died.
Mm.
So I only the only reason I was on at zero is because I rolled at 20 on my death save,
Yes.
right? So I came back at 1 hit point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Lich magic. There you go.
I was trying to decide how I would handle that if you did go down, because well, yeah, because I was still a bear at the time, so I'd have to somehow or get away from the
Well-
Hydra, or I don't know. That would have been really messy.
Very interesting.
I was
I
also
want
thinking,
to-
you said you gave a bunch of berries to Kaharn Pa'Up, and I know, okay, each berry is 1 hit point, but you didn't tell me how many berries he has. I just know Kaharn ate all of them, so he feels a rejuvenation of his body, healing up a bit.
Yeah.
So I can only stay awake in my description because I don't have all the information to I could also say regain 4 hit points, but I didn't know, and I didn't want to impose in that moment. I guess I could have.
Yeah.
And I did use it dies also, by the way.
You
Yeah.
didn't? Oh yeah.
I did.
What do you mean? But you don't. Oh yeah, you did after, right? Yeah.
After
I had
I
recovered all with the berries he gave
Berry.
me because it was like only 5 or so.
Yeah.
I do have to mention though, because I thought I think I said that the first session. It's been a very long time I haven't played 5e. And last session, even though there was combat, I did not engage in it. I was running away, but this one I did. And playing combat again, I just thought, like, man, how do people stomach this? Like, this is awful. I'm hurting every moment of it. Yeah.
What do you mean? Like, how do people stomach this? You feel like it's a bit like constraining?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like rolling. I mean, I get why we roll to see if it hits and then you roll damage, but I feel like it just makes itself longer. I don't know if the juice is worth the squeeze, but that's a preference thing. I cannot pursue it, I guess I could have rolled all damage and thing together, but I don't know. I just is game game feel. I don't like that term much, but I don't like the game feel.
It's almost like it gives you like almost 2 chances to fail in a sense, right? Because like you can you can miss, but even if you hit and then like you roll like shit damage, right? It's like, well,
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah, okay, I did it, but barely, right? Just like why? Just like,
Yeah.
so like, and now like they don't have like they're not like we don't face the big bad of it point, but at some point when you have the bigger monster, and then like you do like, oh, I hit for 2, right? Just like, well, that was a wasted turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
I
speaking of
got
the
so I had like 4 attacks with the Dane axe, and they all missed. Like I just felt over here like, okay, this is not a challenge. It's just to see how the group deals
Yeah,
with it.
that's another thing. Like, I mean, this has been talked over and over, but the D20,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
there's some
yes.
situations like I should not be missing like this. Like I was in front of the guy as well. I mean, I guess again, personal preference, but I do prefer opposed roles. I don't like static. I don't like just standing there waiting for my fate, and an axe is coming towards me. But
yeah. There's always something also that feel like a bit unnatural in those fights, right? Like, and when I went to kick the guy in the back, right, I did roll with advantage because I said, well, like he's fucking being flanked. No, it's
Yeah.
like,
Yes.
so I said that's fair, right? I took that upon myself. I hope you don't mind. But anyway, both sides.
And I'm not going to correct you either. Like if you choose to roll with advantage or disadvantage,
Yeah.
that's good. That's fine by me. Sometimes I see it coming. Omelet was being a wolf charging at Red Bastard's foe.
Yeah.
So in my head, okay, like just flanking is not enough. He was distracted specifically.
Yeah.
And Omelet
I wanted
wasn't
to
there
mention that
beforehand.
that was
Go
Yeah, go ahead.
I was trying to illustrate the pack tactics, which is
Oh,
basically
yeah?
the direwolf gets advantage whenever there's an ally within 5 feet of the target.
I didn't even know that.
So
I shapeshift into a different animal. It's like, okay,
yeah,
what does the animal do?
I have a whole new mechanics now.
Yes.
man,
What? Yeah. Don't you have also like a thing when you fight people bigger than you? Right?
I do, but it's I
It's
can only
large and
use it
bigger.
once a day or after a rest, so I was saving it. I was hoarding it because I thought, I mean, there's 2 guys with me. Like, I don't need to use it now.
Yeah.
Because I can still run away. I have more tools to run away and then just straight up fight.
Yeah. And that's also like one thing I find like D&D in general. But I think not necessarily more than the other edition, like suffer from in combat is like just like I attack kind of thing, right? I try to vary thing, right? Like attacking the guy, bumping them. Like I try to put like do some different stuff, right? But
Yes.
otherwise, like there's not much mechanics to do different stuff. And you feel like, what do you think?
In general, that is true with D&D because they love to give all the cool melee stuff to one subclass of the fighter, which then means, okay, but if another player wants to do it, do I just tell him no? Or do I ignore it and say everybody has some battle master in them,
Or you can describe like you're doing that, but it's not gonna have any change or it's not gonna do anything mechanically.
It's fluff.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a moment where I thought like, you know what, I'm gonna like go full chimpanzee and like jump on the guy and like, like holding myself with my feet. Didn't come to that, but I was thinking like, if I do that, like how will Zonolar adjudicate that?
Well, yeah, I mean, jumping at the guy to like get into a position where you can attack him, that's like an acrobatics roll.
Yeah. It's also a grab in some way, right? If I'm trying to like,
yes,
stick to him and like,
yeah.
So I don't know.
But yeah, it would feel weird because basically you do one roll to grab on, the second roll to attack, and then the third roll for damage. That already feels like too much.
Exactly.
I would
I'm
rather
already
make
hugging
it
all
an
the time.
acrobatics roll, and successful acrobatics roll is you hit on top of it, you just get the hit for free. But that's like hindsight thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what do you talk, Alvin? On the whole thing.
I'm reflecting on my own role play, and I feel like I want to be more active, but it's tough to, I guess, think of what would contribute to the scene and to the action that's happening. I found
think,
myself kind of just anchoring a lot.
Yeah. But I think that's all right too, right? Because even if you like, it's important. I think that you take a turn, even if you don't have much to contribute, and like, then that's just like anchoring, or and just like at least you still exist in the scene, right? And I try to involve you when I could, but like, yeah, just having those things ready for, like, you know, those ticks and those things that people do when they're like when they're
Idle.
not doing anything really, when they
Mhm.
idle, exactly.
Yeah.
The term I'm looking for. Yeah. We all
Yeah,
have
but
those.
when you described like biting the leg off, that was very cool. I think I could see it, like I saw the picture perfectly. The way you described that was really neat.
What did you think about, because you gave the death blow, and I was waiting a little bit for you. I think I was waiting for you to describe it, but ended up doing it myself. Of the body turning limp in your grasp and the leg coming off. Did you want it to describe that, and I cut in, or did you?
I
was
was
it totally fine?
I was trying to think of, because and you have to understand, I'm a medic, so I was I was like, okay, what did I
That's not
do
how
that
it
causes?
works.
I was like trying to quickly think, like, okay, so he probably bled to death. Like I severed an artery or something, and his body just kind of goes limp. But you know,
Yeah.
a dire wolf is pretty big. I can imagine it shearing a leg off, especially after it's been jerked around. Hi, kitten.
Yeah. It's like getting the
Yeah.
femoral artery ripped, right?
It's like, okay, hit points is 0, but you attacked his leg. So is he dead or not dead? You know, it's like, well, of course he's dead, but how do we get to the dead part?
That's also something that's weird. Also, like when I shoved the sword in the skull, was it like I made a roll for attack? I didn't know if it was needed, and then I rolled for damage. Like, would that have been like a gimme when the guy is like down, and I just like put a, you know what I mean? Just like,
I mean, he was still
I
conscious.
think that was the correct choice. But I was signaling that he's giving up, and you
Yeah.
are going for the death blow. So he could be like, "Oh shit!" He goes for the death blow, tries to dodge.
yeah,
So I think it was the correct choice.
try to fight back. Yeah, that I said, like, I thought like I'll make a roll, and if you want me to have it anyway, and I roll like shit, he can just say like, yeah, no, it's sorry. You know, he could like just say he's not
He
like
doesn't resist.
yeah, he doesn't resist, or there's nothing he can do, right? And then I would have get it
Yes.
and keep on going. But I now rolled I on that one, so wasn't an issue anyway, right? So I thought it was less obstructive to just like put the roll, and worst case we ignore it.
Yeah.
I have
Or
I
you
have a
can
question
also
about those
just
humans.
yes. Go ahead.
So you described that it was like a strange language. And here's my out of character question for: do we recognize it as common, or is it completely foreign?
How many? None of you speak
How many
common,
here?
so it's a strange
Yeah.
foreign language.
Okay,
But
well,
that's the thing, like, because
They
I think
speak
my
uncommon
character,
to you.
I mean, but if you know,
You
I
would
can
recognize it,
recognize
right?
when somebody's has a German accent or speaking German.
Mhm.
I can recognize when somebody's speaking
You
Spanish
do?
or has a Spanish accent.
But I don't
If-
think
if
Omelet
you-
has ever seen though.
So none of you guys told me on screen if you've met and fought humans before.
Oh,
So
I
I
did.
have to.
Yeah.
Oh, you did?
Oh yeah, it's my favorite enemy.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Then there you go.
Okay.
Yeah, I
I
got
was
two favorite
just
enemies, elf and
unsure.
human.
Yeah.
I was trying to give the information in without breaking character, so to say.
Yeah.
So without saying
Mhm.
they speak Italian, approaching the camp, making an Italian joke.
I
You know, it's like,
I
Well,
did like that
I-
you sorry, I did like that you made you spoke and you said things, but we didn't understand them.
Mhm.
Was that Italian?
no, I was just
didn't sound like
really gibberish.
Gibberish. Okay. I was gonna say,
It was gibberish.
I thought you could tell if somebody was speaking Italian or
Yeah.
apparently not. It's a mystery language. It's a foreign language.
yeah.
I was speaking.
It just,
I
it
was
just
about.
everyone.
Yeah.
Well, to be
If
fair,
I had a bit more time, I would have done it in Swiss German, which is gibberish to everybody,
Yeah.
even to Germans. So
At first, I thought you slipped in a few words.
You did slip in
Actually.
a few word, which I thought was
yes,
cool.
No, like orc. Okay, we
Two-
can recognize
two
that.
words.
Like,
Wolf,
it's orc and retreat and the wolf.
Yeah.
I
wolf
think.
was
Yeah.
so-
wolf. Yeah. I was confused in the retreat part. I was like, wait, why do I understand that? Like. So that
Well,
made me think they were using a codified language, but when like things got heated, they started speaking naturally, and for some reason, like,
Oh.
wait, do they speak Orcish then? Like, I thought about that.
Oh yeah.
well,
Yeah,
I,
because
why
like
not?
I couldn't hear them, and then like, okay, orc, wolf, I get, but then retreat. Like, why do they have a military command in a language we understand?
well, I would say there's at least two possible explanations. Number one is loan words.
Yeah.
So in
Yeah, orc
English,
and wolf, but not for retreat.
The orc, no, look, yes, exactly. The orc learned from the humans what retreat means because orc doesn't have it in their language.
Like
They use the
yeah,
human
like,
word.
that's funny to me because retreat is a French word that you're using as in
Yeah.
English as a loan word, right? So
Yeah.
what's
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, but like, okay, but
What is
like
a-
French and they have been living like almost neighbors. Like,
yeah,
what's with
but
the
it's
orcs?
probably not like it's probably not the human using the orc word for retreat. It's probably like the
Is that we
only-
use?
yeah,
Okay.
exactly. It's probably like
Yes.
in orc language, we use retreat, the human word for retreat.
I
because we
see.
don't have, like, we
Okay.
don't have the concept
Fair
for
enough.
ourselves.
Exactly. All the
Yeah.
the orcs came up with charge and kill and maim and slaughter.
And
Like,
of course,
yeah,
France would
retreat,
come
that's not
up
a
with the
concept that we
retreat,
came
right?
up with.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we use the
No, okay,
human
but
word.
like in the moment, I messed up and I was like I wanted to say like run or flee, but I said retreat instead.
Yeah.
I'm
No,
choosing I'm choosing a different canon explanation that orcs just don't have a word for retreat.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But
There was. Oh, go ahead.
oh, I was gonna say the only other thing I would add is languages that are like cousins of each other.
Yeah.
The
Mhm.
words will sound
Yeah.
similar. You know,
Yeah.
if you speak English, you probably recognize a little bit of Latin because so much of English has Latin and
And German.
German and French.
And
So,
Portuguese and Italian. Yeah.
the Romance languages are much closer together, I think.
I was confused at one point where the guy shoved us to like reposition himself. I was like, I did not fully understand like what happened there.
So at the start, they spotted Kaharn Pa'Up, and Kaharn's turn was to showcase himself, challenge to battle.
Corn pop. Yeah.
Kaharn Pa'Up was a bad dude.
You know, because
Yes.
the way we were speaking, I was like, what, corn pop? Like after I was like, oh, okay. Then I like Skarn. Okay. I was very confused. Like I was like, what's corn pop about? Like, what does that mean?
Corn Pop. That's like the name. Corn Pop.
It's
Yeah,
his
but
name.
I was pronouncing this either different, you know. So
But that's it messes with me too. But I just asked at the start.
Sorry.
I tried to remember.
the corn pop.
Yeah.
It took me a while to realize.
Yeah, and the warrior stepped up, right? The archer did not. So so I was defining the distance when Kaharn Pa'Up decided to run at the archer. I felt the need that, okay, I actually need to cut in here. He's out of range and the other guy's in your way.
Oh, I wasn't out of range though. Because
Okay. Yes, the orc ability.
Yes. Yeah, I can cover a lot of range when I'm running towards somebody hostile. Yeah.
How did you feel about that? Like, should I just let you?
I felt all right because it made me it gave me a chance to tackle the guy, and that was cool. Right?
Yeah.
I like. Yeah. I could have pushed a little more, but you said, yeah, the guy's in the way. I could have said, well, I'm beelining, right? I could have freely, but that's fine, right? I'm just gonna interact with that guy then. He's in the way. I'm gonna push him on the side. Right? And actually, it made the thing more interesting. Yeah.
I liked it.
You know what I thought was great was when Rat, in a fit of rage, throws that little metal dagger, and then 2 minutes later, it's like, oh yeah, you can show him that dagger.
How do you feel about that, Nicholas?
That was great.
I'm in trouble.
Yeah, I love that moment.
It was so
Because it's
natural, because
Yeah.
of course, that's evidence that metal. Their metal work is probably identifiable to their race, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was really good. I was really happy with that moment. It was a good moment.
How do you feel about the abuse that you get from the boss?
It feels only natural. It feels only natural. Nah, that was good because I don't know if what you thought when you did that, but because I went back and Red Bastard's trying to kind of set the scales, with engraving your name on the board. So it feels like a friendly meta back and forth, I don't know if that's what you thought, or you just thought actually gonna be funny if that happens, but I liked it.
No, I like the, and that's also what I was trying to, Kaharn really doesn't treat the both of you in the same way, right?
Yeah.
You definitely have some preference, but
Yeah.
The microphone is messing up.
no, it's the noise that we were talking about earlier from Zon,
Okay.
that we don't know what it is. Maybe it's
And
the
of course,
I did-
you accused the Brazilian,
Yes.
right? How peculiar? Why is that the case?
you were
Why is that the
victim now.
case?
I was wondering when your wineskin was going to run out.
Yeah, because you
Oh,
can't
I had to mention it at some
two
point.
sessions. Yeah.
I had 2 of them.
Okay. Well prepared. That's
Yeah.
well prepared.
Like
man.
I finished one on the last session. I finished one, and so now I was on my second one. So if it's empty 2 now, right? So yeah.
Yeah. What
So
was that sharing the drink, by the way? That made me and Rat genuinely confused.
Yeah.
Like this random act of what is this?
To me, that was
trickery.
it seemed like
Measuring.
am I not merciful? Look,
Yeah.
when you fight for me and you don't run, look, I am am I not generous,
Yeah. That's how abuse work. Like you mistreat people, but then once in a while you do something nice to them.
Yeah.
I am a generous god.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. I thought it was more of I'm seeing how you react, I'm trying to get a read of you. That's how I interpreted it. Yeah.
It's supposed to fuck up with your mind.
Yeah. So it worked. It worked.
It was
Did
pretty
you-
great.
I want to know, did you guys realize why the hunters showed up? Or did it completely go over your heads?
I assumed they were back for the rabbits.
Yeah.
for
Where,
the
like,
traps.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
We'll
exactly.
fuck up the trap and shit like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. At morning light, they will return to pick up whatever they caught overnight.
Yeah. Yeah. If we had waited, we could have like seen them instead of like the Hydra.
Yeah.
Yes,
minute.
exactly. That's what that's what my plan was. The Hydra is something you can notice and ignore because it's a Hydra. And you just,
But now it's like it's I don't know. It's kind of something that we almost a goal that we have now, right? A aim that we have.
Yeah.
yes.
Still there.
Yeah, still out there and something we can come back to if we don't get distracted with something else. But
Future probably will happen. Yeah.
The last session, orc politics, all 2 hours.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I
What was this NPC's name again? Oh, jeez. Is it
We didn't name
Grog
any.
or
It
Grog?
had
What
a name. It was written on the tree. The upturned
yeah,
We
tree.
have to rewatch.
the boy. It
Yes.
was Gork.
No.
Close to that, no?
Close.
Because Morg
was
was like
Mord.
Morg or
Mark.
yeah,
Okay.
Mord.
Yeah.
Mord.
Yes.
Okay. I haven't seen it written, so
It's an appropriate
Yeah,
name
just
since he's dead.
for me it was just okay. When we set the scene, it's the Hydra head, it's the orc child, and a little bit of the Lich's Dregs. I could have skipped that this time around. I don't know why. It felt like a cool intro bit for the viewers.
oh, and I got to mention it too at some point, the in game, right? About the
Yes.
Lord
Yeah.
the Lord Nadib.
I liked that a lot when you guys talked about it.
And Rat is
brought up the magic.
Yeah.
Rat's
Like
trying to, I guess, encourage me to pursue like some kind of dark arts or to grow my magical power to.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't know how it works.
Yeah, it's just
I don't
magic,
even-
it's just for him. So the idea is that it's not even that he wants you to learn so you can better benefit him. It's just that by making like all the big guys fight, it's easier for him to manipulate things and get away with. So the more the orcs fight within themselves is better for him because they'll be not focused on him. So. Like you should learn more. You should become the leader.
Yeah, what was that about? Like you pointing to the human and saying, "Oh, he could have been a leader," and now like here it is.
Yeah, because because Kaharn is leader, like he's strong. But I mean, he could have been the leader too, but now he's dead. So what does that mean? Being a leader means nothing if you cannot hold yourself. Is what he was trying to. And you're clearly stronger. Yeah, and it's like you're trying to say like, oh, like see, you're stronger than Kaharn. Like he was trying to make him get to that conclusion without him saying that.
Nobody
But the
died
guy
yet.
thinks like he
Right?
died,
Kaharn's doing a good job.
It's okay. It doesn't go over Omelet's head. He would catch it. His reflexes are that fast.
Yeah. Do we get the tone of this monster campaign? This month, I think
I mean, the tone is like it's a cock and eating people. Yeah, I feel like it's
mandatory penis mention.
It's a running joke between me and Nicholas, right?
Every session we play in, there's always a penis somewhere.
Really?
It's like
who could that be?
A director's Easter egg, that they always put like the van in the DreamWorks. It's like there's always a penis somewhere if you look closely.
It's the shot of women's feet in a Tarantino film.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that too
always
much?
comes back.
Is that too much? Me whipping my cock and pissing in the fire. And...
Yeah, I mean, if you do third time, it's gonna become a recurring joke. So just
well, I don't know if I'm doing it third time. I feel like it just felt like
I feel like you achieved the same goal by saying, "I piss out the fire." It's just a grabbing of the cock that gets me every time.
Yeah, it's the
I start Pulling
Yeah.
my cock out.
Well, you have to understand, Kaharn is pretty.
I
When he says
dual
whip
wield
it out,
my
he really means whip it.
Yeah, we're gonna change to Fatal next time. The system.
I grab my great axe. You know.
I agree.
Yeah.
So
No,
I'm
but
going
I
to
think
turn
like,
left.
yeah,
So make a dex saving throw to avoid getting hit by my massive dong.
exactly.
My Magnum dong.
Uh,
My monster
Well.
dong, actually.
Just consider yourself lucky that both the human were men.
Yeah.
my God.
Crisis averted. Successfully.
Yes. I get to keep my YouTube channel.
Yeah. It's going to be like a Star Wars thing, there is only one woman in the entire thing.
So
Zonalar says, okay, we're going to fade to black for an hour. And Max says, make it 2
Yes.
hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think you need to lean
I'm
to it. Lean to it.
Yeah.
yes. I think I really liked it because it shows the difference between orcs and humans very strongly. The humans didn't do much except, oh, there's one orc, there are 2 of us. We can take
there's
him.
a wolf.
And then a wolf shows up and the goblin too. It's like, shit.
Yeah.
And
I wondered.
everybody's in melee. They cannot outrun the wolf because he's huge.
Like on the hut, because at first, there was a whole confusion. Is this the village? Is this the camp?
Yeah.
I was thinking like he would lift the wall of the tent to like go on the back, but then like I thought, well, if it's a hut, I guess it's mud, so he cannot, do that.
Or
I
sticks
thought it
or
was like a
something.
skin hut, right? Just like with a flap for a door. But
Yeah, I did because I wasn't sure, so I didn't want to
close the door. I was so confused. How do you this?
Yeah,
When
because
did you have
door
time
too.
to
I'm like, wait,
a door?
yeah, he would have said the entrance or like the flap, whatever. So because of that, you know what? I'm not gonna mention anything about that because I'm very confused. I don't want to add to the confusion.
That part was difficult, like because there was this noise, right? Like I wasn't sure who was in, who was out, and where we were at. Like there's this part, like it's very unfortunate, right? That's the challenge of technology, I guess, right?
Yes.
But yeah, because of that noise,
Well, how did you feel about when I said, combat is about to break out? So I re-described the area of the trees. There are no bushes because it's all dead from the foliage being super dense. But the trees are big enough to hide behind. Did you guys like that? Did that like set the scene for you guys, or no? It was just confusing.
No, I think it helped at that point because you were kind of like, okay, now like they're outside there, right? Just like, I got that we're not at the camp, right? We're not at the village, I guess. Right?
Yes.
So for me, it did help at that point. Like I said, okay, I kind of get where we're not now. Like, yeah. So
What about? Yeah. Go ahead.
Did we give up on initiative now? We didn't roll for initiative. We just went into our regular order, I guess, more or less.
Guns blazing. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I don't need initiative until we do. It's like, okay, when do you need initiative? What if there's like 8 enemies?
Yeah.
And you guys choose to fight them. Like you're embroiled in a all-out melee. Then I want to be able to say, roll initiative. But most of the times I can just let you act and honor the turn that everybody has a turn. And then the NPCs will react to what's happening.
All right. Well, it's 2.5 hours. Anything else that you guys want to talk about?
That's it for me, at least.
And there's I was thinking about you think, you feel. Was I telling you guys too much of what's happening to you?
When did you say that?
I cut one. in the session, so I guess it wasn't too much. It wasn't shocking, right? And even when he did it, like it was fair, kind of fair, because it was like prompted by something. I forgot what it was exactly, but there's one that I remember like hearing.
What was the berry you ate, right?
Was it? Maybe. I forgot. But
I think
Yeah, I
it
described
like
the
you'd
warmth
feel,
filling you up
warm.
and rejuvenating your body.
yeah, I forgot what it was anyway. But like I noticed like giving some sensory input in that sense, but it was after
Yeah.
somebody like clearly like did something that would justify it in a sense. So it wasn't like
Okay.
wasn't a big red flag, right? It's the kind of thing that yeah, it would be more elegant way to do it, but it's not like dramatic. Yeah,
Game
Good.
ruined.
game ruined. Yeah.
All right. Last words, yeah, crap.
See you in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
In
So
Fortnite.
yeah, in a fortnight. And we'll have to talk about the time, because I think like by then Germany is going to be in the daylight saving time, right?
It happened a few days ago, so it
Oh, it did
switched.
happen. Oh,
Yes.
okay. Oh, okay. Oh, so is that time? Are we doing the same time, or are we going back to 2 o'clock? What do you want to do?
In what direction did it shift for you guys? I took the same time as before, but it changed for you.
Yeah.
Our former president abolished the whole thing. So
Yes, for Nicholas and make
Yeah.
it event.
yeah.
Like the first session we started at 2 my time,
Yes.
but now we start at 3 my time. But we're also in daylight saving
Okay.
time.
We can do it an hour earlier if that helps you.
All right, let's figure that out on the Discord. There's no point in doing that
Yeah.
online. It's gonna be easier too. And we can also we don't have to figure out like right away. We can also like talk about it's in
Yeah.
2 weeks. We have time.
All right.
I'm gonna
Perfect.
wrap up the stream then. Thank you guys for joining me for that game. That was a good time. And thank you for the people that watch either live or on the replay. And we'll see you back in a fortnight. And I'm sure like we can have other content coming out by then, right? All right. Take care, guys. Have a good day. Bye.